This week we're going over the new weapons that we got in the Pale Heart, what they can roll, and some good options for both PvE and PvP. Later this week we're also going to get our first prismatic build. I've been trying to get everything, test stuff out to see how it interacts together, and I've been wanting to get my hands on some of those class items before we start really diving into build crafting. With that being said though, subscribe as we have a lot to cover over the next few weeks, including the weapons coming out for the first episode. Like the video as it helps out a ton. It helps the algorithm be like, hey, people want to see this, so it helps other people see this video, which helps the channel out even more. And of course, comment what you want to use on these weapons, what you're really excited for when it comes to these weapons, because there are some really good options here, and let's get right into this video. First, all these weapons come with the Origin Trait Dealer's Choice. Final blows with this weapon grant a small amount of super energy. Equipping multiple weapons from the Pale Heart increases this effect. I haven't really played around with this too much, but it seems like a very good origin trait to have. Anything that gives us more super energy is always appreciated, especially when you're trying to build craft into just getting your supers back constantly. I feel like these weapons have a pretty good place in builds that center around your super. The first weapon that we're going to look at is going to be the Call. This is a strand rocket assisted sidearm. This is now one of 2 rocket sidearms, and I personally like it more than Indebted Kindness. It looks mean, it's chunky, it feels like it does good damage, and overall I think this is honestly this is better than Indebted Kindness. In its third column, we have Stats for All, Demolitionist, Beacon Round, Slice, Lead from Gold, Strategist, and Subsistence. In the fourth column, we have Hatchlings, Multi-Kill Clip, Golden Tricorn, Vorpal Weapon, Adrenaline Junkie, Desperate Measures, and One for All. For PvE, Demo, Lead from Gold, Subsistence is really good. We also have Hatchlings, Vorpal Weapon, and we can even use One for All if that's your thing. This is currently the only one I have crafted, and I've been using Lead from Gold and Hatchlings, and it's actually been really fun. For PvP, I'm not a fan of these sidearms in PvP, but Beacon Rounds and even Slice are a good option alongside Multi-Kill Clip, and even Vorpal is another really good option here just to burst down supers. Again, this is probably my favorite weapon of the bunch so far, but it is also the one I have used the most, so I may be just a touch biased. Next, we have Bold Endings. This is a stasis heavy burst hand cannon. I actually really like these 2-round burst hand cannons inside of PvE. My go-to lately has been the new Void one, the World Drop one. I've been using it a ton on my Hunter. But for this, in our third column, we have Rapid Hit, Loose Change, Headstone, To the Pain, Air Trigger, and Attrition Orbs. In the fourth column, we have Eye of the Storm, Golden Tricorn, Moving Target, Dragonfly, Desperate Measures, and Demolitionists. For PvE, I really want to try the Headstone and Dragonfly combo. That's really the only thing that has me excited, and maybe Demolitionist. For PvP, however, this thing is kind of stacked. We have Rapid Hit, which will get 2 stacks if you land both crits in a burst, a moving target just to help that target acquisition. And the combo that I really want to try is To the Pain and Eye of the Storm, as they both play into taking damage and being at low health. I think both of those together is going to make this hand cannon a really good option inside of PvE. I've actually been really enjoying Eye of the Storm again. I go through phases with it, but again, I really want to try this combo on this particular hand cannon. Next, we have Someday. This is a kinetic precision frame shotgun. This isn't a slug shotgun, but these are my favorite ones to use in PvP. The only problem with this one is that it goes where my conditional finality goes, so it's gonna have a hard time replacing that. In its third column, we have Elemental Capacitor, Lead from Gold, Loose Change, Dual Loader Strategist, and Threat Remover. In the fourth column, we have Cascade Point, Recombination, Vorpal Weapon, Barrel Constrictor, Collective Action, Opening Shot, and Swashbuckler. For PvE, there isn't anything crazy. I would take Lead from Gold and Recombination and maybe Vorpal Weapon. For PvP, we have Elemental Capacitor, Threat Detector, Barrel Constrictor, and the almighty Opening Shot. It is a good looking shotgun, but I don't know if I want to use this over conditional finality. Again, that is completely up to you. If you don't want to use something like Red Death, if you want to use Red Death, I think this shotgun would pair very nicely with it, but overall, I'm just going to stick to my conditional finality for now. Next, we have No Hesitation. This is a solar support frame auto rifle. This is the first and only support frame auto rifle we currently have in the game. Hurting targets charges this weapon, and then you can hip fire at allies to heal them. I honestly think this weapon is really cool. In its third column, we have Strategist, Overflow, Demolitionist, Grave Robber, Ensemble, Subsistence, and Physic. In the fourth column, we have Surrounded, Desperate Measure, Circle of Life, Disruption Break, Frenzy, Attrition Orbs, and Incandescent. For PvE, I want to lean into the support frame and do Physic, so rapidly healing allies grants restoration to us and allies, and Circle of Life, where rapid healing increases this weapon's damage. Both these perks play very heavily into this weapon, and I think it is perfect. For PvP, I honestly have no idea. This weapon shoots projectiles kind of like Osteo-Striga, so it may not be the best thing to use in PvP, but you are more than welcome to try. I, however, am going to completely pass on this weapon in PvP, although there might be some funny ways to play trials and just be like, you're just going to heal all your allies. I don't know. I might try it. I might have just talked myself into it. We'll see how that goes. Next, we have Embraced Identity. This is a Void Adaptive Frame Sniper Rifle. I haven't really used snipers much since the PvE buff and the flinch nerf in PvP, so I'm not really sure how I feel about this weapon or how snipers feel as a whole. In its third column, we have Demolitionist, Attrition Orbs, Reconstruction, Opening Shot, Rewind Rounds, Destabilizing Rounds, and Permeability. In its fourth column, we have Elemental Capacitor, Box Breathing, Moving Target, High Ground, Precision Instrument, Redirection, and fourth times the Charm. For PvE, we can do stuff like Reconstruction, Rewind Rounds, and pair that with Precision Instrument and fourth times the Charm. This way we can just put out a lot of damage. For PvP, we have Opening Shot, Elemental Capacitor, and Moving Target. Very classic PvP sniper perks on this one. I'm not a big sniper in PvP, so if you do use this, you'll just have to let me know how it feels. Next, we have Axial Lacuna. This is a solar precision frame fusion rifle. This frame of fusions are normally very good in both PvE and PvP, and this one is no different. In its third column, we have Firmly Planted, Threat Detector, Reconstruction, Keep Away Cornered, Demolitionist, and Eye of the Storm. In its fourth column, we have Incandescent, Controlled Burst, Kickstart, Surrounded, Frenzy, Vorpal Weapon, and Desperate Measures. For PvE, this thing's kind of stacked. It has Reconstruction with Controlled Burst, Surrounded, Frenzy, or even Vorpal Weapon to choose from. And for PvP, we have Firmly Planted and Keep Away, which I'm very curious how Keep Away works on a fusion rifle. We also have Cornered paired with Kickstart. These are all going to be feeling really good to use inside of PvP. Again, Kickstart is a little nerfed, but I still think it's a very good PvP perk for fusion rifles. Next, we have Pro Memoria, a Strand aggressive frame machine gun, and I believe this is currently our only aggressive frame machine gun, but let me know if I'm wrong. And honestly, I really like it. It feels really good, even though I don't have the perks that I want on it yet. In its third column, it has Reconstruction, To the Pain, Attrition Orbs, Strategist, Demos, Hatchling, and Envious Assassin. In the fourth column, it has Bait and Switch, Tap the Trigger, Dragonfly, Frenzy, Target Lock, Desperate Measures, and Collective Action. For PvE, we have Reconstruction, Envious Assassin, paired with Bait and Switch, Frenzy, Target Lock, and even Dragonfly. I think this is going to be a really good machine gun inside of PvP, especially for ad clear when you pair things with Dragonfly. For PvP, I do Demo and Strategist, and maybe Tap the Trigger, to be completely honest. So that this way, when I do get those machine gun defeats, I will feed back into my stuff, and Tap the Trigger is just really good as it adds to the stability on the front of that weapon, and this thing does have just a little bit of kick to it. Finally, we have False Idols. This is a solar vortex frame sword. We've gotten a lot of swords recently in Destiny, and most of them have been really good. We both got the Slammer and Fallen Guillotine last season, which are both vortex frames as well, and also really good. But for this sword, in its third column, it has Relentless Strikes, Incandescent, Duelist Trance, Unrelenting, Wellspring, Attrition Orbs, and Strategist. In its fourth column, it has One for All, Collective Action, Counterattack, Vorpal Weapon, Bait and Switch, Chain Reaction, and Surrounded. For PvE, we have the classics of Relentless Strikes, Vorpal, Bait and Switch, and Surrounded, but I really want to try Incandescent and Chain Reaction and see how that works and how that plays off of each other. And for PvP, unfortunately, there are just better swords to use if that's your thing, as this thing does not come with Eager Edge, which I guess is fair because a lot of swords recently have had Eager's Edge, but Eager Edge is like the PvP perk, so again, this doesn't have it. There are other swords to use. Just keep that in mind. I'm not telling you you can't use this sword, but there are better swords to use. All of these weapons are craftable with enhanceable traits, so keep that in mind when you are looking at these weapons, what its final form could be with those enhanced traits. But with that, that is the end of this video. I try to do these guides, these god roll guides, whatever you want to call them, a week after, so this way people have a chance to get a hold of these weapons and be like, okay, what do I want to put on them? So we're going to be doing this again next week, hopefully for the new episode weapons, as some of those look really good. But of course, like I said at the beginning of the video, subscribe. We have a lot to go over the next few weeks. I'm going to be trying to do more videos. I know I've said this in the past, but I have a better way to do this. Hopefully it works out better than it does in my head, but we'll see how that goes. Like the video, as it helps other people see this video who might be interested, and comment what you're really excited to try when it comes to these weapons, and I'll see you guys in the next video.